Ти записав, що було 31?
Постріл.
Постріл!
Counterattack. Drone commercial Ukrainian forces destroy Russian tank after dropping bomb on it. This is the moment a Ukrainian drone destroyed a Russian tank in the south of the country, as Putin's military continues to suffer punishing losses. Video captured on Friday in the Kherson region shows the drone dropping at least 6 bombs on the tank after it tried to hide in the corner of a field. Ukraine's 123rd Territorial Defence Brigade said the tank was destroyed by the bombs, before quipping, -1. It comes amid a Ukrainian counterattack in the region, with military spokesman Natalia Humeniuk saying some of Russia's men are trying to negotiate a surrender. A spokesman for the brigade said, intelligence of the 123rd Territorial Defence Brigade in cooperation with the SSO Special Operations Forces unit in the Kherson direction destroyed a Russian tank. The operation was planned in detail. Since late August, Ukraine has been counterattacking in Kherson in a widely announced mission to take back the city from Russian control. Kiev's men spent weeks ahead of time using US HIMARS launchers to destroy bridges and railway lines across the Dnipro River, which runs through the city. This means that Russian forces on the western bank have no easy way to withdraw, and troops on the occupied eastern bank have no easy way to reinforce them. Putin's generals have flooded the region with troops, by some estimates up to 30,000 of them, which are now bogged down in fighting. Ukraine's progress has been slow but steady, with Natalia Humeniuk, spokesman for Ukraine's Southern Military Command, said some Russian troops are now trying to negotiate their surrender. With Russian forces tied up in the south, Ukraine has taken the opportunity to launch a second, surprise, counterattack east out of Kharkiv. The operation has been a stunning success, with Kiev's men capturing more than 1,000 square miles of territory in just a few days of fighting. In what amounts to a rout, Russian troops fled their positions while putting up little resistance, leaving dozens of tanks, armored vehicles, and artillery pieces behind. Ukraine is now thought to be back in control of the whole of the Kharkiv region, including railway lines that were feeding supplies to Russian troops in the Donbass. That puts Russia's entire eastern offensive at threat of collapse, and could spell disaster for Putin's entire invasion. Russia's defense ministry has attempted to play off the defeat as a regrouping of troops from the cities of Balaklia and Izium to nearby Donetsk in order to boost efforts in the area. But typically pro-Russia military bloggers and allies of the Kremlin reacted with fury, with Chechen warlord Ramzan Kadyrov vowing to make the situation plain to military chiefs and the government. They have made mistakes, and I think they will draw the necessary conclusions, Kadyrov said. If they don't make changes in the strategy of conducting the special military operation in the next day or two, I will be forced to contact the leadership of the defense ministry and the leadership of the country to explain the real situation on the ground. Meanwhile, enterprising Ukrainian soldiers are using modified World War II-era hand grenades dropped from mini drones, an innovative tactic that is reportedly damaging and destroying advancing Russian armored vehicles. Interestingly, the grenades themselves were originally made in the Soviet Union to use against German tanks toward the end of World War II. The Russians invented a hand grenade. It was a shaped hand grenade that you could throw at a tank. And if you hit it, you could knock a tank out. And that was a result of them not being able to knock out German tanks with the stuff they had, Mike Mears, former director of human capital at the CIA, told media in an interview. Mears explained that Soviet soldiers had to be close enough to the tank to throw the grenade, which usually placed them in the line of fire. This tactical scenario, and the risk it involved, partly inspired the creation of the longer-range rocket-propelled grenade, RPG. However, following the arrival of the RPG, the Soviet Union still had thousands of these small 30mm and 40mm grenades sitting around in warehouses. Some enterprising Ukrainian thought, if I took these things, and I got a 3D printer and put little fins on them, and then I could take them up in a drone and drop them. What havoc I could raise in trenches and so forth, Mears said. Think of the innovation to do that. Nothing like that has occurred on the Russian side. Absolutely nothing. Attacking Russian forces with grenades dropped from drones is precisely the kind of asymmetrical advantage Ukrainians have leveraged against a larger mechanized adversary. Dispersed groups of dismounted Ukrainian soldiers could use terrain or buildings to their advantage to launch attack drones armed with grenades from obscure or hidden positions. It is not clear how many countermeasures, sensors, reactive armor, or active protection systems Russian tanks have, but it is widely known that they are more vulnerable to airborne attacks. A small hand-launched drone could simply drop explosives from the sky above Russian armored vehicles without placing Ukrainian soldiers directly at risk. Given the large numbers of these leftover grenades, they may serve as a long-term supply of ammunition to support drone attacks. These grenade-armed drones can likely be integrated with NATO and US-provided drones such as the Switchblade and Puma. Much like the grenade-armed drones, the Switchblade is a mini-attack drone that can become an explosive airborne device.